Hello YouTube, we're back. I'm Garth, this is Vaughn, we are the Den Den Boys.
G'day.
And today we're going to be looking at the new Mega Drive Mini. So Sega's officially jumped in the game, there it is. Sega's jumped in the game and released their 16-bit system on the hot of the heels of the PlayStation Classic, the two NES, the NES and the Super NES Classic or Minis. And so we're going to do a little review about how they went with this one. We're going to break it down into the hardware, software, the games that are on the system, and then I guess at the end of it we're going to think about whether it's a must-buy or...
Yeah, a recommendation or not.
Yeah, should you reach out and grab one or maybe give it a pass. So, how do you want to start? Do you want to talk about the actual system itself? Let's talk about the hardware.
Yeah.
I guess that's the coolest thing about the system. So, there's the Mega Drive Mini.
Yeah, it's very faithful to the European PAL release machine.
Yeah, and when I compared it to the PlayStation Classic in my little mini unboxing, it was actually smaller than the PlayStation Classic,
okay.
which was interesting. M2 have done a great job.
Yeah, so the Japanese sort of developers, porters of emulation, M2, who got a long history working with Sega and Sony around the Sega Ages franchise, partnered with Sega to really do justice to the emulation.
It's a beautiful little system. I mean, in fairness to the other systems, they all looked $1 million too. Like, you know, with the actual design of.
But this one's got, like, you know, the flaps, you know, you go in and out.
Yeah, it does.
The volume slider.
Which doesn't do anything, but it's a nice added touch.
It's
a nice added touch. Yeah.
So.
And the actual on and off button.
And is the little expansion hatch on the side here too comes off where you would join up to a Mega CD, so they've included that.
Yeah.
So I think full marks.
So hardware wise, it's beautiful recreation. The
controllers, the 3-button model, not the 6. But it's life size to the original controller, so it's not a mini controller.
It's actually almost bigger than the actual system.
Side.
Yeah, which is a strange one.
Feels really nice.
It is a nice control.
You almost wish I could plug it into my real Mega Drive.
Yeah.
But yeah, so no, I love it.
With some of the other systems we've bought, you know, some of the higher end products, they have given you the original ports to plug into, but these ones are obviously USB, which is, you know, obviously can't use your own Mega Drive controls.
Although there may be an adapter out there, you know.
Oh, sure, yeah.
Leave a comment if
USB,
you're aware of one.
yeah. So, hardware tick.
Yep.
Big tick, 10 out of 10.
And the packaging, the box is beautiful too.
Yeah, it is a nice little packaging, yeah. And you've seen it. I mean, that's brings back nostalgia right there, so that's pretty cool. What about the actual software? So before we talk about the games, so we're actually going to break the games up into what we think are the AAA titles on the system.
Yep.
What are the ones that we're, you know, the hidden gems that we're glad that, you know, are great games, but maybe not everyone knows them, and were unexpected to maybe be on the system. Some of the games that we think are maybe taking up space, so, you know, what could they replace those games with another one? And then the last one will be, you know, maybe value for money. So there's some titles on there that, you know, they're going to save your back pocket. So
yeah, if you were tracking them down on eBay.
What about the software? When we plugged it in, what did you notice initially when we plugged it in?
Well, the music, it's got a beautiful soundtrack on the sort of hub from Yuzo Koshiro, the Japanese sound composer from the Streets of Rage games, amongst others.
Yep.
So very authentic and original piece. So it sounded great. Like so.
Straight off the bat, that's a touch that M2
and it's a long track too. You know, it's not just a jingle. It's kind of a.
They could have put some generic music on it. No, let's put a Legend of Sega.
Yeah. On
the intro. So that's really cool. I guess graphically, we were playing on disclosures, we were playing on a 55-inch LED, and straight away, obviously this system's not meant to be played. Like these games are not meant to be played on a 55-inch TV.
Yeah.
So they try to alleviate that a little bit by giving you some scan line options. That was a software option. You could put the scan lines into the game. But what did you think about the scan lines?
Well, we weren't impressed with the CRT filter in as much as you know. I think it sort of looks better without that on, you know, on a modern display.
I mean, give me CRT and scan lines any day.
If you want to play on CRT, play on CRT.
But on a 55,
this unit won't do that.
Nah, 55-inch TV, new modern TV. For people who are purists like us, it was not a great look to have those really big scan lines on the TV. So, and like you said, there's been other systems where, you know, they'll give you, you know, 8 progressive versions of scan lines and how high you want them. But this is just like scan lines or nothing. So They probably could have gone the extra yard in giving us a degree of scan lines.
Yeah.
Maybe that would have softened the blow a bit, but to just go bang, hard scan lines or nothing was maybe lack of an option there. It was a bit of a bummer. The menus works well.
Yep.
They give you the option to border the games.
Yeah, you can put some different pictures behind it.
Which we kind of ended up going for just the plain black. Sometimes it's a bit jarring to have those extra frills around the game.
Yeah, because they don't change, they don't move, and they're just there permanently.
Yeah, something like a Dynamite Heady, you're playing that, and it's already a crazy, colourful game, and then to have all this extra barrier border around it was a bit...
And we're playing in the
Take it or leave it.
4-3 mode, so hence, you know, some people might...
That's a good point. So it does give you 4-3 mode if you want to recreate what it's supposed to look like. Again, way too big, but and it also gives you the full screen mode, which I'm assuming probably most people go for because they're really used to getting the system. But the actual interface works well. The holding down the start button was able to make you go back to the main menu or reset. The save ports, so you can save at any point, not having to wait for save points in the game. That's a good feature.
And the options were easy to access from the hub. To change some of the settings.
Super easy. There's really not much to it.
And you can change how the games are arranged by alphabetical order, by year of release.
That was cool.
Or by genre. So
that was cool.
So yeah.
So I guess the games themselves. So we decided to break them down, like we said, into 4 categories. So the first one was the AAA titles. The games we decided were, these are either quintessential Sega.
Obvious Sega choices that were huge back in the day.
Huge, and that when you think Sega, you think these games, or they're just quality games that you're glad they're on the system, and they were the best of the best back in the day. So some of the ones we went for were the obvious ones like Sonic, Sonic 2, Echo the Dolphin, Streets of Rage 2, which is probably some people would say the high watermark of the series. There was Gunstar Heroes, Toe Jam and Earl, Phantasy Star 4, Shinobi 3, Altered Beast, Wonder Boy. That's a fair chunk of AAA titles dedicated to the 40.
Yeah, they've covered, you know, from RPGs to beat 'em ups to fighting game Street Fighters on there. Champions Edition,
that's right.
Special champions. Yeah.
So that was the AAAs. We went into the hidden gems. So these are the ones that either maybe not many people know about them. They went under the radar back in their day. But to have them on this system is really cool. So we went for things like Elysia Dragoon, Landstalker, Shining Force, World of Illusion, Eternal Champions.
Great 2D fighters.
Yeah. Dynamite Heady, which probably is getting a bit more recognition now, but...
hear so much about Treasure and obviously Gunstar Heroes, you know, comes to mind. But yeah, Dynamite Heady's one of the best games. For sure.
And then the other one that's also a really big hidden gem that a lot of people did play was Vector Man. Which we've put some time into and clocked, which was really enjoyable.
Yeah, quite a late game on the system. Yeah. Up there with the likes of Donkey Kong Country, you know, as far as the technicality of the graphics.
So again, we're like 1, 2, 3. We're almost 20 games in. We've got AAA titles and some hidden gems in there already. Yeah,
there's 42 games on the system in total. Yeah.
Now we get to the meh games. So these are the ones that we feel like there's too many of that type, or they're just taking up space that maybe could have been replaced by another game. So we got things like Alex Kidd, Space Harrier, Columns, Road Rash 2, Dr. Robotnik, Sonic Spinball, which you were saying it's very Sonic heavy. To have another Sonic game on, do you really need another Sonic game on there? And well, as you pick a Sonic Spinball. Light Crusader.
Actually, for the Treasure family.
In Virtua Fighter 2 was another one where
it's a technical showcase, but really, wouldn't you rather play it on a Sega Saturn?
Yeah, you know, when you think of Virtua Fighter, you don't think Mega Drive. So it's a weird inclusion.
Yeah, but amazing that the Mega Drive could do anything remotely like that. But
absolutely. And lastly was the games we're stoked that they're here. So you had things down like Thunder Force 3. Disappointed it wasn't Thunder Force 4, but Thunder Force 3, Ghouls and Ghosts, Mega Man, the Wily Wars. You want to talk about that one?
So that's an incredibly expensive game on the PAL second-hand market, and it's the Mega Man's 1, 2, and 3 from the NES, but on the Sega system. So you've saved yourself $500. Right there,
big time. So it's a pretty good list of games. I mean, there is a few in the meh list we sort of said, oh look, take it or leave it. Would like to see them replaced with some other ones, but all in all, it's a very good list of games.
Yeah, very happy with the variety, the rarities. some hidden gems and the AAA titles. It's a good mix.
Yeah. So I guess we get to the end and we go, okay, so we know what the hardware's good, the software's good, the games have been ported really well.
Yep.
There's a good list of games. Where does this rank in the list of the minis?
Yeah, I've got to say, I think it's up there with the best. You know, I think it matches the work from Nintendo with the, you know, you're getting more games. You know, M2 on the emulation. It's
well, that's the thing. What did the Super Nintendo give you? 20.
Yeah.
And this is giving you 42. So we're already there. You're ahead. But it's not just an extra 20 games of junk. It's an extra 20 games of some good quality games
across a very broad sort of depth.
And like you said, you got some actual games in there. Unlike the PlayStation Classic when we did that video, we were disappointed that they didn't put more games in there that could have saved us a lot of money because they're really expensive in the second-hand market. And they just went with the generic games that probably were really obvious choices. Yeah. But these guys have actually put some things in there that are rare.
Yeah.
So that's a thumbs up.
Yeah. I mean, Monster World 4 had never been released here.
Absolutely.
Not counting the WiiWare version.
Yeah.
But, you know, see that translated in English on the system.
That's really cool. That was super cool to see that on there.
Yeah.
So for me, it trumps the PlayStation Classic by a mile.
Yeah.
I think it's in front of the SNES Mini and the NES Mini. The only thing that beats it for coolness was probably the Neo Geo Mini. You know, that's a really cool system for the interface.
Yeah.
And obviously Neo Geo, we're big fans of Neo Geo, but I gotta say, like, it's 2 thumbs up for me. I think it's a really good system. I think M2's done a really good job.
Yeah, no, I'm impressed with this unit. It's definitely 2 thumbs up.
Some of the other ones I maybe just have got them and they're just going to be a collector's piece and they'll just sit in the cabinet because I've got the systems already. But this one I can see myself playing and having it on the TV and seshing it for a while anyway. So yeah. I'm saying definitely recommend. I'm saying it's worth a buy for sure.
Yeah. No, it's definite recommend.
Okay, cool. All right, well there you go. There's the Mega Drive Mini by M2 and Sega. Let's fingers crossed and pray for a Master System Mini.
Yeah.
Saturn Mini.
Yeah.
Will that ever happen?
What's next?
What's next?
Who knows?
What's the next Mini? What are you gonna bet on?
Master System Mini.
I'm going Master System Mini too. All right, cool. Alright, thanks guys, thanks for watching, and yeah, as always, like the video, comment, especially comments, we like to hear your feedback, and yeah, hit the subscribe button so you get the videos when we send them out, and yeah, we'll see you soon.
Peace.